Not every move that their favorite team makes actually ends up panning out.
Hassan Reddick wants to be traded.
Yes,
Has not gone to a meeting, a walkthrough, a practice, a nothing with the New York Jets.
Some end up becoming a complete disaster. So let's see if we can take a look forward and project out what every NFL team's biggest mistake of the 2024 offseason was. Arizona Cardinals signing RT Jonah Williams. The Arizona Cardinals hope to solidify their offensive line by signing Jonah Williams, but they might have actually just driven off with 11. Williams had his ups and downs in Cincinnati, and with Kyler Murray's durability concern, that is, well, kind of concerning. The Cards needed a more reliable presence on the line, and unfortunately, Williams does not inspire confidence in that regard. Atlanta Falcons letting Jeff Okudah walk. Letting Jeff Okudah walk will likely prove to be a misstep for the Falcons. Sure, Okudah was inconsistent at times last year, but that was tightly tied to injury. When he was actually healthy, he showed flashes of being high impact, and he fit nicely alongside A.J. Terrell. The Falcons are now banking on a group of corners who have either been inconsistent or unproven, and the Falcons might find themselves regretting not giving Okudah another shot. Baltimore Ravens losing edge Jadeveon Clowney. Letting Jadeveon Clowney walk might be a decision that haunts the Ravens in 2024. Clowney was a game-changer for Baltimore last season, tying his career high with 9.5 sacks and playing a key role in making the Ravens' defense one of the league's best. His ability to generate pressure was invaluable, and losing him could create a void that is very hard to fill. The Ravens might find themselves missing his presence, especially when they face off against the AFC's top offenses like Kansas City, where they really need to get after the QB. Buffalo Bills trading Stephon Diggs. Diggs wasn't just another receiver. He was the heartbeat of Buffalo's passing game and Josh Allen's most trusted weapon. I mean, he was instrumental in Allen's development. Without Diggs, Allen might have never turned into the quarterback that we know him to be today. Replacing a player of Diggs' caliber with the likes of Curtis Samuel and Marquez Valdes-Scantling is not exactly a recipe for improvement. Carolina Panthers signing G. Damian Lewis. The Panthers spent big to bolster their offensive line with the acquisition of Robert Hunt, which, yeah, that made sense, but signing Damian Lewis to a 4-year, $53 million deal could be a costly mistake. While Lewis has shown flashes of potential, they have been too few and far between, and quite frankly, the Panthers might have overpaid for his services. If he doesn't live up to the price tag, this move could set the Panthers back in their quest to build a reliable offense. Chicago Bears overpaying Kevin Byard. The Bears got a lot of press for an impressive offseason, but the decision to overpay for Kevin Byard might come back to bite them. Byard, who is now 31, has struggled last season and showed signs that his best days might be behind him. Despite his all-pro pedigree, the Bears are taking a big gamble by investing $15 million in a player who could be on the decline for a young team trying to turn the corner. Cincinnati Bengals letting DJ Reader walk. Letting DJ Reader walk could be a decision that the Bengals regret for a long time. Reader was a cornerstone of Cincinnati's defense, anchoring the middle and shutting down opposing running games. Without him, the Bengals could see a significant drop in their ability to stop the run, an area that is crucial in a division as physical as the AFC North. Replacing a player like Reader is no easy task, and his absence will likely be felt more than the Bengals thought. Cleveland Browns trading for Jerry Jeudy. The Browns' trade for Jerry Jeudy might look flashy on paper, buying low on a former first-round talent, but it could end up being a major error. Simply put, Jeudy is more of a gamble than a guaranteed upgrade. With Amari Cooper already in the fold and younger receivers like Elijah Moore and David Bell showing promise, the Browns didn't need to take a flyer on Jeudy, especially considering the turbulent nature of the Browns' offense with Deshaun Watson under center. Dallas Cowboys signing Ezekiel Elliott back. The Dallas Cowboys re-signing Ezekiel Elliott feels like a move more driven by nostalgia than strategy. While Zeke was once the heart and soul of Dallas's offense, his production has been on a steady decline over the past few seasons, and really, he just looked like a shell of himself in New England last year. Denver Broncos drafting Bo Nix. Drafting Bo Nix with the 12th overall pick was a bold but highly questionable move for the Broncos. Nix was not projected to go this high, and his college career was synonymous with inconsistency. With so many other needs on the roster, using such a high pick on a quarterback who may require significant development feels like a terrible move. But I guess Sean Payton doesn't care about the long-term risks because he knows he'll be out of town if they miss on this one. Detroit Lions signing edge Marcus Davenport. While Detroit needed to add more pass rushing help alongside alongside Aiden Hutchinson, I don't know that Marcus Davenport is the guy. He may have a lot of the prerequisite physical tools, but the former Saints first-round pick has never quite put it all together. If he can't produce at a high level in Detroit, this move could leave the Lions back in the market for pass-rushing talent. Green Bay Packers acquiring Josh Jacobs. Green Bay's choice to bring in Josh Jacobs to replace Aaron Jones seems liable to backfire. Jacobs may be a former rushing champion, but he comes with significant wear and tear from his time in Las Vegas. The Packers had an opportunity to develop younger, fresher talent in the backfield, but instead, they chose to invest in a player who might be closer to the back nine of his career than his prime. If Jacobs doesn't hold up under the workload and really elevate the offense, Green Bay could find themselves regretting this decision, especially as they look to build around a new era with Jordan Love at the helm. Houston Texans signing Joe Mixon. The Texans' decision to bring in Joe Mixon is, to put it bluntly, a head-scratcher. While Mixon has had moments of brilliance, his time in Cincinnati was plagued by injuries and subpar performances. Houston's offense is ready to win now and just needs reliability and steady production, not a player who's just as likely to disappear as he is to dominate. Indianapolis Colts signing DT Raekwon Davis. Raekwon Davis, coming over from the Dolphins, was not the splash that Colts fans were hoping for. He has been serviceable, but far from a game changer. Indianapolis might find that Davis doesn't quite bring the impact that they were hoping for, making this a potentially forgettable addition. Jacksonville Jaguars signing Mitch Morse. While there was a time that Mitch Morse was a force to be reckoned with in Western New York, he had arguably his worst year as a pro in 2023, allowing 28 hurries and 31 pressures, both of which were season highs in his 9-year career. Jacksonville was in the market for an upgraded center, but Morse's recent performance suggests that this could be a big-time swing and a miss. Kansas City Chiefs trading L'Jarius Sneed. L'Jarius Sneed was a key piece of Kansas City's secondary. With him gone, Kansas City will be relying on unproven players to step up in a secondary that will need to perform at an elite level to keep pace in a very competitive AFC. Las Vegas Raiders ignoring quarterback purgatory. The Raiders' decision to roll the dice with their current quarterback situation is baffling. Obviously, they made the right choice parting ways with Jimmy Garoppolo, but bringing in Gardner Minshew to complement Aiden O'Connell is a suspect approach, and it's likely going to lead to another season of quarterback instability, which, as we've seen in the past, rarely bodes well for the silver and black. Los Angeles Chargers replacing Gerald Everett with Will Dissly. Replacing Gerald Everett with Will Dissly will definitely limit the Chargers' offensive potential. Dissly is a solid blocker, but doesn't offer the same versatility or receiving threat that Everett brought to the table. Los Angeles Rams signing Darius Williams. At his size and age, it's rather surprising to see how much that the Los Angeles Rams invested in Darius Williams to play opposite of Tre'Davious White. 3 years for $22.5 million is quite a sum, especially when you consider Williams' schematic fit, or really lack thereof. Miami Dolphins signing Jordan Brooks. Jordan Brooks is a solid run defender, but in today's pass-happy NFL, you need linebackers who can do it all, especially in coverage. Unfortunately, Brooks has been exposed repeatedly when asked to cover, giving up over 1,000 yards in coverage just a couple of seasons ago. With teams like the Jets, Bills, and Chiefs in the AFC who should have elite passing games, Brooks could become a glaring liability. Minnesota Vikings letting Kirk Cousins walk. Cousins may not have been flashy, but he has been remarkably consistent, providing the Vikings with solid quarterback play year in and year out. Without him, Minnesota is venturing into the unknown. Actually, it's kind of worse than the unknown. It's Sam Darnold, with a roster that was extremely competitive last year. Yeesh, yeah, that should mix like oil and water. New England Patriots drafting Drake May. Drake May has the physical tools and upside to become a franchise quarterback, but frankly, so do a lot of signal callers. The big concern is that he's also raw and could require significant development, and the Patriots have an abysmal offense, which is not exactly conducive to a growing QB. New Orleans Saints signing Cedric Wilson Jr. Cedric Wilson is a capable player, but he doesn't bring anything particularly new or game-changing to the table. With $5.75 million committed to him over the next 2 years, it isn't a huge risk. But the Saints could have better allocated that cap space. New York Giants failing to re-sign Saquon Barkley. Barkley has been the engine of the Giants' offense since they drafted him, and his ability to create explosive plays is something that cannot be easily replaced. Without him, the Giants are betting on a committee approach, which is not likely going to result in the same 50-yard tears that Barkley was known for. New York Jets trading for Hassan Reddick. Well, this one backfired in a fashion that can only be described as pure Jets. The two-time Pro Bowl defensive end was acquired from the Eagles in April and formally requested a trade halfway through August in the midst of a contentious holdout. Even if New York does manage to retain Reddick, not exactly how you wanted to kick off the season if you're the Jets. Just saying. Philadelphia Eagles retaining Nick Sirianni. The Eagles chose continuity with the decision to keep Nick Sirianni in the city of brotherly love. But, there is reason to wonder if that was the right call. Despite his early success, there have been rumblings about disconnects within the team, particularly between Sirianni and quarterback Jalen Hurts. In a city like Philadelphia, where the margin for error with fans and the media is razor thin, any signs of internal strife could lead to a season unraveling very quickly. Pittsburgh Steelers trading Deontay Johnson. Sure, the Steelers received cornerback Dante Jackson and a pick swap in the trade, which does help bolster their secondary, but come on, losing Johnson could leave a significant void here. The Steelers' passing game was already in flux and might suffer even more without Johnson's route-running precision and ability to make tough catches in critical moments. The San Francisco 49ers drafting WR Ricky Pearsall. This was a head-scratcher for many. Pearsall has some interesting attributes, but it just felt like there were better overall talents still on the board, both at wide receiver and on the defensive side of the ball, which I think many would argue was a much bigger need for the Niners. The Seattle Seahawks releasing Quandre Diggs. The Seahawks made a tough decision to release Quandre Diggs for cap purposes, and it's one that will have ripple effects throughout that secondary. Diggs has been a steady, reliable presence in Seattle's defensive backfield, and his ability to play multiple roles is going to be sorely missed. Tampa Bay Buccaneers over-investing in Baker Mayfield. The Bucs are betting big that Mayfield can be the guy. And as much as I'd like to see him succeed, well, it feels like we've seen this story before. He's had more highs and lows than most could stomach, and it's going to be interesting to see how long Tampa Bay can stay patient on that roller coaster. Tennessee Titans firing Mike Vrabel. I do not know what the Titans were doing with this one. Vrabel was the heart and soul of Tennessee's tough physical identity, and his leadership was a big reason for the team's recent turnaround. Replacing him is no small task, and there is a very high risk that the new regime falters early and often in his shadow. Washington Commanders hiring Dan Quinn as head coach. Quinn has had success as a defensive coordinator before, but his track record as a head coach is far less impressive. If Washington stumbles out the gate or fails to show significant improvement, well, Quinn's hiring could quickly come under fire. But hey, what do you think is your favorite NFL team's biggest mistake of the 2024 offseason? What do you think we got right here? What do you think we were off on? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton, and hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, well, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.